There was a manhunt going on in this county. Somebody made death threats to you. Did you hear about that before coming? And what are your thoughts coming down here? Some people told me it's dangerous for you to be here.
I've heard it's dangerous, but I also have a job to do. I heard it's very dangerous. I haven't heard about that. They probably want to keep it from me. Thank you for telling me. Yeah. Let's get out of here right now.
I mean, how can you watch that and not?
Well, he's honest. He's just truthful. The fact that he's out there tells you, and he's like, I got a job to do. And he's right. He's got a job to do, and he's doing his job.
Yeah.
Kamala's not doing her job.
Welcome to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. I want to welcome to the show, joining me to break down the DNC, the wonderful demonic convention, day 3. We have Jaco Booyens, BlazeTV contributor and host of The Bottom Line, along with Pat Gray, host of Pat Gray Unleashed, which you can find right here on BlazeTV. I suggest you do, by the way. Go get it wherever you get your audio podcasts as well. Gentlemen, you could lie or you could just tell me the truth. Did you watch it? Did you watch day 3 of the Democrat convention?
I watched highlights.
Yeah.
Yep.
Intentionally.
I can't do it twice.
I can only subject myself to so much pain.
Can't do it twice. I know I'm going to have to do it for the show. So I can't do it both the night before and the day of. It's too much.
Yeah. Well, one thing, and I mean, I try to watch it, and typically what ends up happening, I have tried to hang on, and I'm like, okay, you guys, this is way too late. Mm-hmm. I don't remember the Republican convention ending as late as these have ended, and they're saving like the big speeches
for later,
for 12 a.m. I got stuff to do. I have kids. I can't be up that late watching people I don't even like. And so, but one of the things that stuck out to me about last night were just all of the abject lies. I mean, it was a freak show, and we can get to both of those things. But the biggest lie that I kept hearing repeated over and over and over was Kamala has done a fantastic job on the border. Wow. And by the way, remember, 2 seconds ago, she wasn't border czar. And they were all like, what are you talking about? She's never been border czar. And now they're like, well, she was border czar. And here's why she did a great job. And we're like, what? What are you talking about? Kamala's been great on the border. So I want to play for you guys and get your thoughts on Senator Chris Murphy, Senator Catherine Cortez Masto, and Tim Walz himself, lie after lie after lie on Kamala's record on the border. Watch.
For 20 years, Kamala Harris has been tough as nails when it comes to securing our border.
Tough as nails.
Kamala and I also work to protect our southern border.
Did you?
She's taken on the predators and fraudsters.
The what?
She's taken down the transnational gangs.
The predators. I think he meant predators. She's taken down transnational gangs. She's protecting the border with that chick who I've never seen before. And she's, quote, tough as nails on the border. That's what we heard last night at the Democrat convention. Do these people believe themselves?
She's tough as nails on our eyes and our ears. It hurts to watch her. Look, the woman has not taken down a single predator. She actually let them run loose when she was a prosecutor, right? Number one, she doesn't frown upon that stuff, nor does her administration. She never made it to the border. She was 40 miles short. She still has not put her feet in the Rio Grande. She's not crossed over into a Piedras Negras to go talk to the families and saying, hey, are you raped and plundered when you come in? Under her administration, because last time I checked, she's still the sitting vice president of the United States, which means she has some authority. I'm going to do. You haven't done jack squat. Zero on that border. What happened under her as the border czar, right? And President Biden is close to 20 million people crossing into this country illegally, losing 500,000 children. That's her record. Yeah. She lost 500,000 children that have come into this country unaccounted for, that they don't know where they are. But that string of lies told me something, and we were right on this show. Our issue is the border.
Yeah.
We should run on the border. They're starting to shore up and defending because they understand that she really has nothing. We need to double down on the catastrophe, national security has been through that border. Human trafficking, cartel, fentanyl, all that stuff. Those statistics should be on loop, repeat every day.
And of course, contrasting that would be the Democrats' platform, which is, I mean, it calls for amnesty of all of these illegal immigrants, including the criminals as well. I mean, everyone. They want to let everyone in, grant them citizenship. And, oops, wait, hold on. I'm not supposed to say that. That's a crazy far right-wing conspiracy theory, the Great Replacement, except it's just happening. But no, Kamala's tough as nails.
Yeah. It's been amazing to watch them have it both ways on every issue. It's really something else. She was just ticking off all the things that have gone up in price with inflation the other day. Yeah. You know, bread is it's up 50%. Meat is up 50%. Right.
Yeah.
On your watch.
I agree.
And then to say that she's done a great job on the border for 20 years.
Yeah.
What? What are you talking about? Oh, I mean, that's amazing. And it's been a catastrophe and everybody knows it. And for her to now claim, you know, like you said, they've been saying all along she had really nothing to do with the border. And now all of a sudden, not only did she have something to do with it, she did a great job with it. The American people know for a fact that the border is out of control. Mm-hmm. And fortunately, we have Democrats even admitting that. Yeah. We've got people in the Northeast, like Eric Adams, who are frantic over the border because they're experiencing it now thanks to the busing program.
And he's no friend of ours.
Right.
He's just feeling the pain in his backyard. All these sanctuary cities all of a sudden saying, wait a second, we can't, I mean, this is not sustainable, New York, et cetera. So, no, but they are going to try and claw that back and spin, but it just tells me that's the place we need to double down.
Yeah, well, I agree. I mean, that and the way of life, right? Everyone's how things are going right now. Pat just mentioned we're in this weird place where they're saying two things at the same time and expecting the American people to not understand that they're in direct contrast with one another. Like, there was no problem at the border for the longest time, for about 3 years. And then all of a sudden there was a problem at the border and everyone knew it, according to Joe Biden. They're like, everyone knows there's a problem at the border. That's why we need to fix it with this terrible bill. And so then Kamala wasn't border czar, then she was. And then things are going great, but also they're going terribly. If that's the messaging that we're hearing from the Democrats during their convention. Michelle Obama said that she had a pit in her stomach because hopeness was dimming. And I'm just like, well, you guys are in charge. What are you you're painting a very bleak country considering you guys have been calling all the shots for 12 of the last 16 years. But when it comes to the border, it's one thing for the lawmakers, right? It's one thing for the politicians to lie to you because it's sad to say, but at this point you expect them to lie to you. They're politicians, okay? But to have law enforcement say that Kamala has been good on the border is just next level evil, I would say. I don't know the guy, but Bexar County Sheriff here in Texas, Javier Salazar, got on stage and praised Kamala as the border czar last night. Watch.
When Donald Trump comes down to Texas, stands next to officers in uniforms just like mine, he's not there to help us. Don't think that. Not for a second.
Right.
He is a self-serving man.
You are a bought law enforcement officer.
I mean, look, just like when he killed the border bill, he just made our jobs harder. Now, Kamala, on the other hand, has been fighting border crime for years.
I mean, how do you live with yourself, especially when this particular gentleman, just back in 2022, he was on television criticizing Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, asking them to fix the border crisis. Watch.
Tell us about what you are asking for. What are your needs?
Well, right now, thank you for having me, first off. Right now, what I'm asking for is for the president or a member of his administration that can make decisions to come down and talk to not just me, but at least 12 other Texas sheriffs from major counties in the state of Texas that are dealing with this issue firsthand. So I'd like to see somebody from Washington come down here, get boots on the ground, get eyes on the issue at hand, and then talk to us, a bipartisan group of Texas sheriffs that are really taking a common sense approach because we have to.
Those of you who are listening on the audio podcast, it said at the bottom of the screen, Texas sheriff pleads for help from federal government. And now there he is. Kamala Harris has been doing a great job for years. Donald Trump doesn't care about this. Jaco, with all of the work that you do down at the border, fighting sex trafficking, would you beg to differ on that?
Let me tell you something about this guy, okay? I'm a member of the National Sheriff's Association. I am, okay? We work with sheriffs across this country. The Texas sheriffs on the border respect this guy zero.
They must.
He doesn't show up when we fight human trafficking. He doesn't show up at any of the events. When he was pleading for help was the same time Brad Coe in Kenny County was deputizing people to help. Remember, he was just saying, screw it, I'm going to deputize people into being sheriffs to stem the tide. This guy's a no-show. Back then, he was overrun with what's high-speed chases through his county. He didn't have enough money. He was crying out, help us, help us, help us. But he's always been left-leaning, but he was crying out, help us. And now all of a sudden, he just told you at the convention stage, Kamala's been doing a great job for years. You're a liar, buddy. You have no respect in the sheriff's organizations. The other sheriffs do not respect you. You flip-flop. That is a bought law enforcement agent.
It has to be. I mean, there's no other explanation, in my opinion. I'm listening to that, and I'm like, how much are they paying you?
Yeah, and how does that make any sense? Donald Trump has been there multiple times.
Right.
And that means he's not there for the border. He's not there because he cares. He's there for himself. But Kamala Harris not showing up at all. That means she's doing a great job and she really cares about the thing. It doesn't make any sense.
Sarah, I just want to say one thing, and this is real. Again, I don't do secondhand on these things. I'm standing there physically, I've even reported to the show from the border.
Yeah.
This administration under Kamala Harris, while she's border czar, and I've said it before, but I want to say it again because I want to pound this border issue. They literally weld the gates open. When Texas Border Patrol shut the gates, I'm standing there and I'm watching them roll in. This is under Mayorkas and Kamala Harris, the border czar, and Joe Biden, and sheriffs like this guy. There's only a handful of them, 4 or 5 of these guys that are sheriffs that now all of a sudden are jumping on the bandwagon because they need money. Sheriffs need money. Our NGO, our nonprofit organization, sponsored car tires, night vision goggles to conservative sheriffs that didn't have enough budget to fight this crime because they're understaffed, undermanned, under budget. So somebody got to these guys, and they're throwing cash.
Yeah.
And then they changed their spin because the truth is it's a disaster. In his county, there was rape trees. Rape trees. Do you remember rape trees? No one wanted to talk about them. His county had rape trees. Kamala has done zero to stop a single predator or fentanyl to flow across this border, and any sheriff that says otherwise is a liar.
It's just, I mean, when you can't have sheriffs who are seeing this firsthand, who are seeing what you're talking about, rape trees, who are seeing this firsthand, and they still lack the integrity to call it out for what it is. It's so disgusting. I can think of few things as despicable as that. All right, we got to take a break. I do want to get into more of the. You guys thought that maybe we were done. No, I'm going to torture you some more. We're going to go through more of the lowlights.
This is your show.
The lowlight. Oh, are you accusing me of liking torturing you?
No, just
you'd be right.
No, I'm accurately stating that you go after the truth.
That's true. That's true. And Misery Loves Company. And I'm like, I had to watch all these to plan for the show. So Misery Loves Company. Okay. So first we want to thank our sponsor, Jace Medical. So Jace Medical seems like a no-brainer when you really think about it. You have emergency food for a reason, because if you are in an emergency, you need food to survive. You also need medication, because if something comes up, maybe there's a supply chain shortage. If COVID taught us anything, it's that could happen. And what if you didn't have access to a life-saving medication potentially for you or your family? That is why you need the Jace case. It's a personalized emergency kit that contains essential antibiotics and medications that treat the most common and deadly bacterial infections. They also have options. So you can customize it with ivermectin. You can customize it with an EpiPen if you want to add one for your family. So make sure to go check them out. They're hosting an exclusive giveaway where you can win a Jace case for life. No purchase is necessary, and you only have until August 31st. So enter today. Go to jace.com/Sarah. When you buy, enter code Sarah at checkout for a discount on your order. That is promo code SARA at jase.com/Sarah. So, as I mentioned, not we, everyone, but when you watch day 3 of the Democrat convention, actually days 1 and 2, it's just basically liars and freak shows. That's just the theme of everything. And before we keep going, move on, I do want to play a few more lies here. Let's play the vice presidential candidate, Tim Walz himself, who is trying to, again, gaslight the American people in what they're experiencing. A, what they're experiencing, B, what they will experience with Republicans, and C, what Kamala would do if elected. Watch.
They'll start jacking up the costs on the middle class. They'll repeal the Affordable Care Act. They'll gut Social Security and Medicare. And they will ban abortion across this country with or without.
He's already said he's not going to do any of those things.
If you're a middle-class family or a family trying to get into the middle class, Kamala Harris is going to cut your taxes.
Is there anyone in the country who believes that?
I love the line, too, or you're a family trying to get to the middle class. Who's trying to get to the middle class? They're so, they hate wealth so much, and they hate success so much that they don't want you to aspire for anything but the middle class. Yeah. Did anybody think, man, if I could only make $30,000 a year, I'd be set for life? Nobody thinks that. Yeah. You want to make $1 million a year, or $10 million, or $1 billion. Does anybody aspire to just get by okay? I don't think so. Not in America, anyway. And so that's the first thing, that they don't want you to have any aspirations. And the lies that they set up all these straw men and then just knock them all down by themselves. Or set them on fire. I've never seen anything like it. With the contraception thing that they're trying to ban. Who's trying to ban contraception? Nobody. I've never seen it. Trump has already said multiple times he's not trying to ban abortion nationwide.
There's not even a state bill in the country.
No.
Nobody wants to do that.
No. Yeah, well, and to your point, Pat, the abortion thing is particularly egregious because Trump has been so upfront that he will not do that, and because the pro-life Republicans are pissed off at him about it.
Yes, right.
Because he has been weak in their opinion, and now the Democrats are like, yeah, but he's going to do it.
No, it's not.
Both those things cannot be right at the same time. The number one complaint, and I had it this morning, the number one complaint on Trump at the moment is by evangelical Christians is he's not strong enough on abortion, on pro-life. It was a Supreme Court ruling.
Right.
There's no just flip the switch from the White House by anybody. It took almost 50 years to flip that switch through a Supreme Court ruling that the states now decide. He's so not on that train. It's no longer on the Republican platform.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's a great point.
Pro-life is no longer even on,
they barely mention it.
Which I take precedent against. But pro-life is it's not even on the platform. You said straw man. I think that's the greatest characterization. These are 3 little pigs, right? Building a house out of straw, maybe a stick here or there. It's all coming down in flames. It's all lies. I challenge us to find a truth.
I know. You can't.
In 4 days of a convention to find a single truth.
And their thing is that the Donald Trump lies. That's all they have done all week long.
Yeah.
Is lie about everything. 2025 is another example. Project 2025. Yeah. I mean, I wish he was on board more on 2025 because it's brilliant.
It is.
There's a lot of great stuff in that, and he's completely washed his hands of it and disowned it.
I think
and they still tried to attach it to him.
Afraid of it, and they don't.
He is afraid of it because we've allowed them to position it.
Yes.
And we shouldn't have.
Right. Yeah. Well, right. I mean, he should take that and go, I mean, I haven't said whether I'm in or out, but could you tell me what is so extreme? About what they're proposing to me.
Defend your position, Kamala.
What is the extreme position that you believe that you can cite here in Project 2025 on their website? Go. They couldn't do it.
Oh,
they
no
wouldn't
way.
be able to.
Do you think she hasn't taken a single interview. You know, do you think she shows up? Is it ABC, right? First debate's ABC? I think it's ABC.
I believe so.
Yeah. Do you think she shows up? Because, man, I would love to, and they're going to throw her softballs, of course, but just let the woman talk.
Yeah.
Because she will spin the wheels on the bus, and she will build straw man. She will do what they did. 240 million Americans have died from COVID. Oh, 3/4 of the nation. Yeah, right.
I think she has to. I mean, I think she has. She already made a big deal about Donald Trump wasn't going to agree to it. And, he's scared to come say it to my face. And she already said she wouldn't do the Fox News one.
Right.
And she already confirmed that she was going to do this other one. So
that's the only one.
Yeah.
She only said yes to one.
Right. Yeah, it was just the one that she agreed to. So I think that she has to, yes. Which will be funny because the rumor mill says that internal polling is showing way worse for her in the Harris camp, and they're like freaking out because they're like, "Oh crap, what do we do?" The last thing you want to do is let the woman talk. You don't want to do that. That is not good. Right. I know. I'm like, please. Like the more time that goes by, she's going to have to talk, and it's just going to be good for us. So, you guys, we were talking about Tim Walz off air about just how terrible of a pick he is. And so I want to play a clip of Tim Walz. You know, they keep calling him he's America's dad, which they tried to do the same thing with Tim Kaine when they were running Tim Kaine with Hillary Clinton. He's America's dad. He's a high school teacher. He's a football coach. He's just like you and me. And he really is trying to play into that, I think. And so he was trying to take a jab at J.D. Vance and J.D. Vance's, Ivy League education, but it just came off really weird. Watch.
I had 24 kids in my high school class, and none of them went to Yale.
Like, are they all too dumb?
That's what I was like, what? What? And by the way, like Pat, to your point earlier about, do you think that people just strive to be middle class and that's it? It's like, I mean, it's okay to strive to want to go to an Ivy League school. I didn't want to, but like, why are you pretending like that's wrong to do?
Like, that's a bad thing. Like, because he came from a small town too. I think he's got this weird thing about small town America.
Yeah.
He thinks because his town was even smaller than Vance's or whatever, that he's a better candidate than Vance.
Right.
And so his class was so small that nobody could go to Yale, even like J.D. Vance did. Well, he came from poverty.
Exactly.
He got a scholarship at Yale.
And also, this is a man who wrote a book, who had a movie made about it before he was a politician. That life story is incredible. It's an incredible life story. But when they were looking at who was going to be the VP candidate, I heard the rumor mill said, well, they've got a problem with white guys. They got to get an older white guy. They got to get somebody that looks like Joe Biden. So Joe Biden was America's grandpa, sniffing children, saying that they're filling up his legs with hair. Now you got them saying, this is America's dad. He's the football coach. He's a local guy that allegedly had to go to the hospital because he drank horse semen.
That's the allegation.
Okay.
I don't know that was...
Wow, that's a weird one I've not heard yet.
Hey,
that's a weird
one. Allegedly, look into it, please. I'm just letting you know, one's sniffing children.
Yeah.
And one's doing all kinds of maybe other things.
Right.
They've got a problem. No, he's not America's dad. He doesn't come on, are you kidding me? I think the small town thing is because it is one of the strongest things in J.D. Vance's history, is that he literally had to fight and comes from his own account, redneck,
hillbillies,
which is the American dream.
That's
it's all about
America.
Right. That's all about. It's all about American opportunity. And
End up at Yale.
That's what I'm saying.
Amazing.
So I want to play. Let's go ahead and play J.D. Vance's reaction. He was asked to react to Tim Walz's, mention of him without mentioning him. Here's what he had to say.
Well, what do you think about his comment? You going to Yale, calling you basically Mr. Fancy Pants Ivy League.
Well, as you guys know, I grew up in a very poor family. I was raised by a grandmother who didn't graduate from high school, much less from college. And I'm proud of the fact that she really worked her tail off, that she, went to her grave fighting to give me opportunities. I'm not ashamed of the fact that my grandmother sacrificed for me and I was able to live the American dream. I'm proud of what I accomplished. And more importantly, I'm proud of all the people who sacrificed in order to give me a better life. I would think Tim Walz would want to praise people who sacrifice to give their children and grandchildren a better life, not put me down. But I guess this is the political order of the day. He's going to attack me. That's fine. But I'm proud of my family. I'm proud of what they sacrificed to make my life possible.
And the other thing is that you forget is several of the speakers this week went to Yale, including the Clintons. And so are you disparaging them too because they went to Yale?
Right.
It's really bizarre.
It
The whole
is.
thing's
said
bizarre.
In the previous segment, they'll contradict themselves within.
They have it both
within
ways.
A single breath.
To your point, Bernie Sanders got on stage and was criticizing billionaires, and then J.D. Pritzker got on stage and was like, speaking as the billionaire. It's just like totally fine with everyone. It's
Right.
like,
And they all applauded.
Maybe I've been controversial here already on the show, but let me tell you, go research a little bit what the Pritzker brothers fund. I just spoke in Chicago at a Trump gathering rally. Go see what they fund. Go look at the experimentation on children. Go look at how they fund, fetal cells, and just look at J.B. Pritzker, and he's up there. He was up there. If it wasn't Kamala or Newsom, Pritzker.
Yeah, they couldn't do Shapiro.
No, Pritzker was. This is who they hang with. Birds of a feather.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tim, so I have to play this one. Tim Walz. Before I play this clip, I want the audience to keep in mind, as the governor in Minnesota, Tim Walz literally set up a snitch line for people to tattle on their neighbors if they violated his tyrannical COVID rules. So watch.
Because in Minnesota, we respect our neighbors and the personal choices they make.
Really?
And even if we wouldn't make those same choices for ourselves, we've got a golden rule. Mind your own damn business.
Oh.
Unbelievable, dude.
It's phenomenal.
Got a snitch line. He bred more Karens than anybody. And by the way, Ilhan Omar and all that they all played with him. It's a disaster. But this is how easy it is. Well, why is that the truth? Because I said it. It's different from yesterday. Yeah, but the truth changed today because everything's fluid.
Yeah, you're supposed to call a line, the snitch line, and tell people, I just saw my neighbor pull out of their driveway. They're going somewhere.
And they did.
And they did.
They did. By the hundreds
they did.
and thousands. They did.
I think they're going to the store. Oh, my gosh. Please send help. Send help.
Call the governor.
Yeah, we need the National Guard down
Call
here.
the governor
Greens.
now.
Yeah.
I think
Shut
my
this
neighbor
down.
went for a little run. They went for a jog and they weren't wearing a mask. Governor, please do something.
Didn't you have a neighbor call on you?
Probably. I don't remember. I've tried to black out all of COVID.
I think I remember.
Probably.
You did a segment looking through.
Oh yeah, no, that was I just did it. I just made fun of the people
Of Karens.
of the Karens.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Like I was on the
That
phone.
was a funny
like,
segment.
yeah, I just saw my neighbor. They're walking outside. I need someone here immediately. So let's go to Nancy Pelosi, who said, I don't know how she does it with a straight face, probably with lots of vodka before she goes up there and spouts these claims about Joe Biden's presidency. Watch.
On January 20th, 2021, with the inauguration of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, we established one of the most successful presidencies of modern times.
It's been so successful for me. I've had endless vodka, and I don't have to answer any more questions all the time, so I really love it. It's been great. I make sure my teeth are still in.
I was about to say the denture's coming out. Is it vodka or tequila? I mean, what is that girl's? What's her poison she picks? Look, I find it
successful presidency.
I find it hard to give. There's zero credibility on anything they're doing, on anything they're saying. I mean, it's a waste of time. At this point, they're oxygen thieves. They're robbing other citizens of oxygen. They should just not speak.
Yeah. It would be easier on my nerves, that's for sure. I mean, it's been a hard week. It's been hard to take.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
There's a lot of conservatives there, though. A lot of our friends are there undercover. There's a couple guys who are.
Matt Walsh was so funny.
One of our mutual friends went in with RFK Jr.
Really?
On his team.
See, I really
incognito and it's like getting
James O'Keefe is there.
He's getting gold, and he's going to release it next week. Like interviews with people who are attending.
We have someone there.
I think Charlie Kirk's been a day in there too. Yeah, it's.
I can't wait. Well, I can't wait to see all the footage that
Circus
comes
show.
out. By the way, I know we got to go to break here, and then I do want to play a few more to have you guys react to. But Matt Walsh, he was handing out. Did you see this? He was handing out cards that says like "Learn more about Project 2025," and it has a QR code. But when you go to the QR code, it's just a trailer for his movie.
That's smart. I like it.
It's so smart. It's
I like
so great.
it.
All right. So when we come back, let's go ahead and finish up the lowlights over at the DNC. First, we want to thank our sponsor, Relief Factor. So Relief Factor is there for those of you who you live in constant pain. You think that that's just life now. Relief Factor has actually worked for all of us sitting here at this table. Pat has taken it. It's worked for him very quickly too, I might add, within a matter of days. It's worked for myself, for me, because I've had some back problems from a car accident that I was in a long time ago. And so it's worked for me, and it's also worked for Jaco and his mom.
Yep, very quick for my mom, and quick within a week for me. I need some meniscus surgery, and so it's taken inflammation out of my knee, which means the pain goes.
Right, exactly. So it's a very, very potent anti-inflammatory, and so as Jaco mentions, it's the inflammation that is in almost all cases, that's the source of your pain. So if you can get rid of the inflammation, you can actually just get rid of the entire problem. You're not just going to mask it. Go try their 3-week quick start. 70% of the people who do that go on to order it again, so that it's working for that many people. So the odds are in your favor that it will work for you. They've got a guarantee, so you got nothing to lose except your pain. ReliefFactor.com. Go get that 3-week quick start over at ReliefFactor.com. Well, we were talking about how, apparently now the Democrats they're the party of the middle class, right? They're just out for the middle class. They hate the elitists. They hate Yale people. They hate Wall Street. They hate big corporations. They're in it for the little people, which is why I guess they had Oprah as well, who came on and was trying to they were taking stabs at J.D. Vance all night, trying to take a stab at J.D. Vance for his childless cat lady remark. But it became pretty funny when you see who the directors cut to as she was making that remark. Watch.
We just try to do the best we can to save them. And if the place happens to belong to a childless cat lady,
it was, in fact, I can confirm, a childless cat lady. And it actually is. Like in real life, I forget I don't know who she is.
Do you think that
I don't remember her
must
name,
have
but
been
I did read.
pre-planned a little bit?
It must have.
Yeah, they're like, find me a childless cat lady to. Okay, Steven, we need your expertise here. What is your expertise? Is that the director like, all right, you got to find someone that I can cut to that looks like this?
Yeah, 100%.
Probably pre-authorized that you have a cat, right? Yep. If you don't, get her a cat.
Right.
Now, where do we buy a cat?
What, Steven?
I was going to say, look at that. That is 100% what you would assume a childless cat lady.
Well, they did a good job. They did a really good job. There it is. They did fantastic job.
Hollywood can cast.
And then let's listen to Dana Bash over on CNN. That it's perfectly encapsulating of the Democrats just wanting to feminize men, talking about, Tim Walz and Doug Emhoff. They just appeal to like low T men, I guess. Watch.
But they are doing so in trying to put forward male figures, Tim Walz being one of them, Doug Emhoff last night, who can speak to men out there who might not be the sort of testosterone-laden, gun-toting kind of guy who wants to listen to Hulk Hogan and the kind of players that came out at the RNC, or might want to listen to that, but also, in addition, understand that it's okay in 2024 to be a man comfortable in his own skin who supports a woman. And that's something that they really are trying to work on with male voters beyond the base.
In other words, little bitches.
What makes this dumb blonde?
Sissies.
What makes this dumb blonde think that strong men don't support and protect women?
Crazy.
Right.
It's your pansies that don't support and protect women. It's pansies you want to run over. That's what you want. You want a whole bunch of men that you can run over, that you can put on a leash and tote along so you can go do whatever you want to do. I mean, yeah, please keep all those guys in your party.
It's like, you are correct, Dana. We don't want them. We do not get along with them. That is true. We here on the conservative side appreciate real men.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
And is that Tim Walz, in your opinion?
No. No. That guy, the reason they went to the weirdo thing with J.D. Vance is because it's the perfect description of Tim Walz.
Tim Walz, yeah.
He is bizarre. I've never seen anything like
weirdo.
it. Yeah. First of all, the guy's a Marxist.
Yeah.
There's no question about that.
100%.
And he's talking about, to him, socialism is neighborliness.
Everyone shares.
Everybody shares. He loves China. He's been there 30 times. He spent his honeymoon there. This is not the kind of guy.
I'm a one-way ticket to Canada.
Yeah, I don't want him as a vice president.
No.
And he misleads about everything he's ever done and everything he's ever been. He tries to make people think he was a head coach. You know, the big coach thing. He was like a linebacker, assistant coach. He coached the linebackers.
Look, head coach, linebacker coach, that's great.
That's the stolen valor.
Right, the stolen valor.
But it doesn't qualify him one bit for where you said it, in between segments. Is he maybe one of the worst political?
Yes, I think he is.
Ever?
I think he is.
Across the board. I mean,
He is.
that says a lot when you're dealing with the AOCs and the Ilhan Omars. And I mean, this guy is something.
Yeah, because I think when you're a female, you can get away with a little bit more being dramatic like that on stage. But the over dramatization of literally everything he does, and he comes on stage and he's just like, like it just comes off so. I know, but for a man to get up there and do that is just...
He's not a man.
It's off-putting.
It's very off-putting, and it's so... I have secondhand embarrassment for him.
Mm-hmm. Dana just told you he's not a man.
That's true.
Just told you he's a pansy.
That's true. I love that she was trying to find the right word choice. She's like, testosterone laden. You just called them low T. That's what you just did. So let's play... Let's see how much we have time for. Let's play Governor Josh Shapiro, who just got passed over because he's Jewish for the VP pick, making an astonishing statement here. They are really, really trying really hard to sexualize your kids. Watch.
It's not freedom to tell our children what books they're allowed to read.
Wow.
We should be able to give our kids pornography if we want to.
Wow.
Take that. It's incredible.
Yeah.
They're leaning hard into that.
Look,
so hard into that. Okay, I really want to play this one, and we're running out of time. So let's play this last one that we have here. Gina Raimondo, who I believe is like the Secretary of Commerce right now, and she has no clue what she's talking about. Big shocker. Watch.
When you hear that, do you potentially think that this new numbers could be a liability for this campaign?
No, when I hear that, first of all, I don't believe it because I've never heard Donald Trump say anything truthful.
It is, though, from the Bureau of Labor.
I'm not familiar with that.
She's not familiar with the Bureau of Labor?
They're qualified.
Oh, my gosh.
We promise you. They are. They know.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not familiar with that. Ma'am, the Bureau of Labor and Statistics just said that the Biden-Harris administration oopsied the job numbers by almost 1 million jobs. The who? I'm not familiar with that.
Sarah, but it's easy to add 1 0, right? Or just 1,000 ballots. I mean.
Right, yeah, great point. Okay, all right. I know we got to go to a break here. Just want to remind you guys, check us out tonight. We're doing a DNC roast, and I will be there starting at 8 p.m. Central. Don't miss it. Dave Landau's going to be there. Alex Stein's going to be there. Stu Bergier is going to be there. And Stu and I were like, why did they... Dave and Alex don't drink. They're sober. Why are we doing a roast and now we're with a bunch of sober people? Oh, wait, I'm sitting with 2 sober people too. Never mind.
Right now.
Join us 8 p.m. Central for the DNC roast. We'll be right back. Apparently, breaking news this afternoon, there is a manhunt underway, as of the time of this taping, I feel like I have to say, for a man who threatened to shoot Donald Trump. Now, here is what we know. Donald Trump is visiting an especially, by the way, this man, as you can see, is from Arizona. Donald Trump is visiting an especially vulnerable part of the Arizona-Mexico border today. And just 6 weeks after Crooks shot Trump, Tom Crooks literally shot Donald Trump, law enforcement is now looking in Arizona for Ronald Lee Searwood, 66 years old, who made these threats on social media to shoot Donald Trump. What we know right now is that he was a registered Democrat. He has a long rap sheet dating back to 1990. He has several other warrants out for his arrest, including in Wisconsin, a DUI, a failure to appear in court in Arizona, a felony hit and run, a second-degree sexual assault of a child, and failure to register as a sex offender. So, you would think, like, given the Thomas Crooks fiasco, obviously, Secret Service would have alerted Donald Trump to this particular situation, right? Not so fast.
Hey, there was a manhunt going on in this county. Somebody made death threats to you. Did you hear about that before coming? And what are your thoughts coming down here? Some people told me it's dangerous for you to be here.
I've heard it's dangerous, but I also have a job to do. I heard it's very dangerous. I haven't heard about that. They probably want to keep it from me. Thank you for telling me. Yeah. Let's get out of here right now. No, thank you very much for saying. But no, and I have great respect for Secret Service, the job they do, including a month and a half ago when they were jumping on top of me with bullets flying right at them. So mistakes were made, and they're going to learn from the mistakes. But I have great respect. But no, I haven't heard that, but I'm not that surprised. And the reason is because I want to do things that are very bad for the bad guys. So I have heard it's very unsafe to make this trip. There were some people that really didn't want me to make it. Yeah.
He is just so good at this.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you watch that and not?
Well, he's honest. He's just truthful. I mean, he's the guy that they want to paint Walz to be, the likable, get along, because it's truly who he is. I mean, honestly, this is a guy that connects with Americans, with families. The fact that he's out there, and he's not in a building. The fact that he's out there tells you, and he's like, I got a job to do, and he's right. He's got a job to do, and he's doing his job.
Yeah,
Kamala's not doing her job. It's the greatest contradiction. He just needs to keep going out there and keep doing it. I believe that will be the next president of the United States.
Stunning, though,
God
that
willing.
they didn't say anything to him about another psycho coming after him.
I don't like that.
And will this ever be a little clue to the Democrats that maybe you stop demonizing this man as much as you are? I mean, the rhetoric that they spew about him, of course there's crazies looking to do harm to Donald Trump. The way they present him every day, day after day after day after day. If this was the opposite and there'd been an attempt made on a Democrat, they'd be blaming Donald Trump. But we're supposed to remain completely quiet about all of their demonization about Donald Trump, how he's going to destroy democracy and all the rest of the things they say about this guy. And then just ignore all the threats against his life.
Right.
Incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was someone on The View that one of them was like right after the shooting, and they're like, "Oh, don't let Republicans humanize him."
Yes.
Wow.
What do you think he is, a droid?
It's when his granddaughter came on stage.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, like he is a human. Do you guys forget that? Kai came on stage. Yeah, that's what it was. So another piece of this story here, obviously we still don't know anything about the guy that actually was able to take a shot at Donald Trump and shot him. But Representative Mike Walz from Florida just revealed that Thomas Crooks, we heard that he had used some encrypted messaging, but he says that there were encrypted messaging accounts on platforms in 3 foreign countries, including Belgium, Germany, and New Zealand. And so he asked the question I think we're all wondering, which is why does a 19-year-old kid, at the time 19, was 20 when he got shot dead, 19-year-old kid who was a healthcare aide need encrypted platforms not even based in the United States, but based abroad, where most terrorist organizations know it is harder for our law enforcement to get into? That's a question I have had since day one. Now, he is on the congressional task force investigating the assassination attempt, so hopefully he can get some answers, but it's like, what are you guys doing? Because I just read a headline that 89-year-old women are getting, pursued by the FBI and then charged by the DOJ for praying outside abortion clinics, faces potential jail time. But the FBI can't find any time in the day to actually investigate this guy and how this happened. But don't worry, they knew from the first moment that he acted alone.
They also got rid of evidence.
Yeah, including the body.
Yeah.
I mean, come
Cremated.
on. We're going to ask the people who got rid of the evidence and the body to come tell us the truth. When will we stop as Americans think that there's credibility in the senior leadership of the FBI? I want to see a Donald Trump go into the White House with an attorney general with some moxie and go after Christopher Wray. So, some folks need to go away for a long time, man, for allowing this to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pat.
Yeah, and then they wonder why we think conspiratorial thoughts. We get no answers. There's just so many trails that lead you to bizarre conclusions, and we're supposed to ignore all of them. And now, turns out the guy's got encrypted messages on platforms in 3 foreign countries. What do you make of that? I mean, how do you make sense of any of this? You can't. And we're not going to get answers from the FBI. They've already tried to sweep this under the rug.
Yeah. I mean, that is one of many reasons, but I feel like one of the most important reasons that we really need Donald Trump to just get in-house so he can clean up the deep state. I know he said he was going to do it the first time. God bless. I think that he trusted too many of the wrong people and didn't realize how hard of a job that it would be and didn't realize that he would be stonewalled every step of the way. But it's like, we need answers because this can never happen again. And, you trust Kamala Harris to get to the bottom of it? Obviously not. All right, we got to take another quick break. We'll be right back. One more DNC fail to send us off here. I want to play what this abortion activist had to say, and I want to just tell me if the irony is lost on you. Watch.
But we will only be heard if we vote. As the saying goes, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So Gen Z, let's take our seat in our democracy and cast our ballots this November for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
She spends a lot of time at the table.
Yes, she has.
She would know, and she might be.
She knows the menu.
Well, she might be eating people. She just threatened to put people on the menu. That might be a reason she looks like that.
That's not too very far from that party's reality.
No, it's not. It's really not. Look at that.
I think that was a threat.
That's good.
They need to investigate that as a threat, actually. These people, they don't
people on the menu.
understand the irony of the things that
the Clintons
they say.
agree.
By the way, can you throw up the picture one more time? I don't think she has to worry about being in a position to have an abortion. I don't think there's not a lot of interest there.
No. Nope.
That's what I'm going to think. All right. Make sure to tune in at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern for our DNC roast. Follow along with the DNC if you can stomach it, but you can because we'll be there. So we'll see you tonight.